Hello everyone, welcome to the mecaniquesportive YouTube channel. This is Nicholas. Today I'm in the studios here at DS in Paris. For those who drive on the N118, you see a big building where Citroën DS and Peugeot also developed their cars. Here, this is the DNA. Look, the new Citroën. I was going to say now, that was before the new DS number 4, which we presented last time right here in this same studio. Look at what you know. I like to show you all the backstage stuff. Here. We presented the new DS number 8 over there. And this time, as you can see, it's written right there. It's the new DS number 4. It has been restyled, so it mainly keeps the same features as before. Electric version, plug-in hybrid vehicle version, and simple hybrid version. There are a few new features at the back, mainly at the front, but the sides haven't changed much. There are a few differences in the wheels, and there will also be some small differences in the electric version, which will also be specific. This name has changed. Before, we used to say DS4, DS3, DS9, now it's number 4, number 8. And indeed, this will be applied across the entire DS range. So shall we talk about the dimensions? This car is 4.40 meters long, 1.87 meters wide, and 1.47 meters high. This car has a wheelbase of 2.67 meters, and it weighs 1,480 kilograms for the hybrid version. Around 1,800 kilograms for the fully electric version. The fully electric version, we'll start with that one. It has 213 horsepower, 343 newton meters of torque, and a 58-point-something kilowatt-hour battery. 3 kilowatt hours, and we'll have a range of 450 kilometers, with charging up to 120 kilowatts. An 80% charge in about 30 minutes. It's not the fastest yet for a premium brand. I might have liked it to be a little faster. To get at least a 10 to 80% charge in 25 to 30 minutes would have been a slight advantage. Maybe going up to 170 or even 200, like most of the new models. But maybe that will be on the future version of this car. Next, we have the plug-in hybrid vehicle, plug-in hybrid model, which is very interesting for companies. Most people in companies use PHVs because of tax benefits and so on. 225 horsepower will have 316 Nm of torque, which is actually more than the electric version, since with the 1.6 combined with the electric motor, that gives us 225 horsepower. We have 180 horsepower from the combustion engine, 125 horsepower from the electric motor. That's more than enough. 0 to 60 in 7.4 seconds, which is pretty good for a car of this type. So it's not meant to be sporty, but it's actually quite pleasant with a pretty nice dynamic handling. We had already seen it during the tests of the previous version. 14.6 kilowatt hours for this plug-in hybrid battery. They claim 81 kilometers of range. And then we have the 1.2 liter hybrid, which now makes 145 horsepower. So it has exactly the same power as before. It's just that before it was called 136 horsepower, but it went up to 145 horsepower across the entire Stellantis group. And 230 Nm of torque. And the diesel version, which is still being sold on the DS4 model, will also be coming soon with the new Euro 6e standards. More and more, and I don't really know anymore because there are so many standards these days, but it will be revised and will still have 130 horsepower. With the 1.5 liter diesel engine, this car will come in 5 colors. It will have 19 or 20-inch wheels, and there will be 6 wheel styles. We have a trunk of 430 liters on the hybrid versions, and a little less, 390 liters, on the plug-in hybrid versions. There are a lot of things that change from this point on, and I'll tell you about them by showing you directly up close. So, on the front end, from here, not the fenders, but this part, everything is new. The hood has been extended by 12 millimeters. Now, 12 millimeters might not seem like much, but it makes a difference. And at the same time, it's been lowered. And here, we really have a lot of new features. We still have the badge here. We're on a star finish with this line here that I really like, which leads directly to this badge that you actually see when you're the driver. Even on the DS9, I like the little trim piece that led us directly to our little badge. Then we have this black part that always extends the cars, as we say, whether it's at the front or the back. All the horizontal lines, it really stretches things out. And then the headlights, they use the same LED headlights here inside, but they've been slightly restyled. Next, this is the new lighting signature that we first saw with the DS number 8. But above all, the first thing is this right here. Look at this long light strip on the DS8. They had put grills like this hidden behind a plexiglass panel. I wasn't as much of a fan before, but now I have to admit I like it a lot more. and the DS logo is illuminated. We're starting to see more and more illuminated logos on cars. We didn't see it before because it wasn't approved, but they figured it out now. The trick is that there needs to be a minimum distance between the last LED that lights up, a strip that comes up to the headlight at the level of the logo. So now they were able to do it since they brought this LED bar all the way here, hidden. Actually, it's a long bar all the way along, and they've just put hidden parts, actually, that segment it a little bit. And it really makes it possible to recognize the car and not just have a strip like most other brands. Now, all the manufacturers keep fighting to have recognition, a visual identity at night. And that almost everyone can do. You know, you can definitely recognize, for example, a Nissan Skyline with the 4 round lights, a Ferrari with the 2 at the ends, a Peugeot with the 3 claws or the claws at the front. Honestly, each brand really has its own visual identity, and I think that's super important. I think headlights are really beautiful. When the DS7 came out with the rotating headlights, I thought it was incredible. I think it was Bugatti that picked up on that afterward. No, Bugattis didn't even turn. It was kind of the same style, but they created some incredible headlight units. And I admit, for me, that was the best. And I used to dream about those headlights. I even wanted to put those at home, you know, in the living room with the things that turn and light up. I thought it was super cool. Anyway, then everything is painted. We're still talking about a brand that wants to be premium. By the way, I see there are license plates on the back. Maybe these are even cars that are currently being tested on the road. New front as well, the splitter, that's what changes the lines, the designs. Anyway, what do you think about it? I have to admit, I really like it. I already liked the previous one with the headlights that went down the sides, which made it look pretty tough. I almost feel like this one is a bit sleeker. The other one, I feel like it really looked bulky. With this one, like, you can still feel that it's really powerful, but there's some finesse. It's a bit more elegant than before. Do you agree with me or not? I'd like your opinion, so I don't say anything silly. Well, after all, an opinion is subjective, as they say, but I do like to know yours. So, matrix headlights, sensor here for driver assistance, level 2 driving, etc. In short, pretty much the best of what's available nowadays. On the side here, there won't be any changes. So there's always been some two-tone, there's always some chrome. Little by little, there's less and less chrome. We find the small UDS badge here, a hatch on this side, and the handles are still flush. And the chrome is a little different than before. Same thing, we'll see it in the taillights. They've used darker chrome to make things a bit different. We know the mirrors and the side hasn't changed. As I was saying, we have 19 or 20-inch rims, 4 disc brakes on all models. This white color, the white, suits it well because it's a pearly iridescent white. It's nice. And the black roof, and you can even have a sunroof. Look, wait, let me show you. But this right here, honestly, this is something you dream about. Can you imagine if we could really drive things like this on the road? I really wish the brands would take their concept cars, you know, and make limited editions out of them. But imagine if they said, come on, let's just make 1,000 of them. That would still be crazy. Even if it's electric or whatever, brands, just make 1,000. Look at Renault, they just released the 3rd turbo. 1,800 and something units, 155,000 euros, starting from 155,000 euros. But that would be crazy. I would really love DS. Please release it and let Nico try it. Anyway, come on, let's go to the back. I'll let you sit down, and at the same time, I'll show you the studio a little bit more. There, I think that's Auto Plus. Over there are the friends filming, and over there is Automoto. Anyway, that's what it looks like. A quick look at the rear 3/4, because you know Nico likes the rear 3/4, and I think you do too. And for me, often, it's one of the most beautiful parts of cars, the rear 3/4. Hold on, don't move. I'll close this trunk properly. There we go. Rear 3/4, always very nice. This style here, really like a shooting brake, really, that slopes down, honestly. If you look at the rear, it's just incredible. There's mud all over this car, and we go through, incredible. Actually, the style is the same here. Look at how it's designed. These lines that go back here, the lights, so that you always find that. A kind of little petal like this placed, but with black chrome inside, which gives totally different reflections depending on where you're standing. And it's the same, it gives a slightly different style, and it looks less like tuning than the versions where it was chrome. Really very shiny. Even though depending on the angle with the sunlight reflections, it can really look chrome. And it's the same even on the rear window. We have little details, the little triangles. Honestly, I think it's super sexy, this line that drops down. Anyway, the DS4, honestly, from certain angles, it really feels like it's bigger, more massive. We need to stop saying DS Quattro just because it's number 4. By the way, it's written here, DS Automobile number 4. So looking at the rear, you can see this slope here, very, very long, and the spoiler, which is nicely split here for aerodynamics. The windshield wiper, that's always a big plus. The third brake light here, which still has a bit of a crystal chrome look, and the lights are nicely stretched out, also thanks to this strip. They're very thin, they make the car look wider. Everything is white, everything is painted, no visible plastic. You can tell this is a brand that wants to be seen as premium. This new one, the lines here, the rear view camera, the parking sensors, and the trunk, which opens right here. So I have to admit it's pretty narrow. It's a bit like the 3008, 5008 here, and then you open it. This version isn't electric. We have a hard cover here and a floor here. You can have a small access with a compartment underneath and a seat that folds down in a 2/3, 1/3 split with a ski hatch as well. If you remember correctly, you can have 430 liters of cargo space in the regular hybrid versions and 390 in this version here, which is the plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. And so the trunk test that gives you the best idea of the cargo volume. Nico fits in here, right? 390 liters. In short, it's pretty good. Come on, let me quickly take you inside. The back seats haven't really changed. It's mainly in the front where 2 or 3 interesting things are happening. So as for the back seats, I'm going to open this door. And what's nice is that you can tell it's a premium brand. When you open the door, you see wood textures here. It's very, very pretty. The leather with the pearl finish, that honestly, I think that DS is one of the best French manufacturers when it comes to upholstery and finishes. Honestly, it's very pretty. So when I get inside, I've adjusted the front seat for myself, so Nicholas, to fit 80 big babies. There's even a little carpet in the door pockets, so I'm 1 meter 80. So if I stand really straight like a stick, just a little tuft of my hair barely brushes the headliner. In a few years, there will be fewer hairs, so it will be less of a problem. You could say, oh well, it's fine, there's more space here. The handle handles in all 4 corners. I have enough space for my knees, for my feet. The seats are set quite low. However, since I often drive in a low position, it doesn't leave a lot of space for my feet. For my knees and shoulders, honestly, I'm comfortable. The upholstery is comfortable too, and it's new. There's this nice smell of leather. I don't know if you know what it's like when you get into a car at a dealership, especially with premium brands. You smell that leather scent. Personally, I like it. Often, you smell leather, more glue, and so on. But I love it when it's new, the seats with the little side bolsters that come up here. I still have good visibility. In the front, the windows are pretty big. There's a small pillar here. The pillar is actually very thin, but I have the central pillar. So maybe it's just missing a little tab. It might not look as nice, but it's a lot more practical to grab it. Especially, I don't know if you've noticed, but women now put on nails like this, and it's not practical for that. The armrest here is about the same level as the one on the other side, which is pretty good. It's comfortable, same thing, with a nice finish and double cup holders, and always a little spot to put your phone or other things. The ski pass through here lets you either reach into the trunk to get something or put skis in there. Really, you can see a small glass roof at the front. Like I was saying, the LEDs are hidden here. This lets me have a book and be able to read directly. Because it's clear like this and not like that, why not? Plus, it's touch sensitive. We have 2 USB ports, they're here, and we have the adjustment for the airflow. But I can't adjust my temperature though. And a central tunnel here, and when I sit in the middle, 3rd seat belt right here, on the bench, the little headrest mat, it can be here. They're pretty good. It's also leather, it's very comfortable, but here it's a bit slippery. I can slide over here, but right there. So the backrest is very hard. It's really more of a temporary 5th seat. My hair is also touching my feet. I'll have to put them up on the rails, but since they're not very high, it's not a problem. It just lifts my toes up a little bit and still gives me some space. But it still doesn't touch my seat, which is adjusted for me and is 1 meter 80. I have some space, but it's not the most comfortable spot. Let's just say it's more of a car. If there are 4 people, it's just fine, or a couple, and then you get to see a nice car after 5 people. It might be a little tight, and kids these days, I don't know what you feed them. Parents, they're so tall. I saw it myself. I went by a middle school twice. I passed by, and the kids were all taller than me, and they were 13 years old. What are kids eating these days? All right, let's take a little tour of the car, like usual. Because you know, I like to do that for you. And it's always much more meaningful when we do the tour in real life. That way, I'll show you the others if I take you to discover the colors. Here, for example, we have a mix of light between the LED lighting and the sunlight. White works very, very well, as I told you, with all the little sparkles and the pearly side, this lateral side. You can see lines really tight. Yes, I didn't tell you that, it changes. Before it was chrome, now it's black here and the lights on the back. It really has quite an incredible look when you see it in pictures and even in real life. The DS4, the former DS4, really has something special inside. Because of the voices and a few little new features, the handles, and then like that, they pop out for me. And there you go, let's go. Inside the door, just like in the back, it's so well finished, it's so beautiful. The buttons of, I think it's one of the only brands that works its door buttons so well. Apart from Rolls-Royce, even Rolls, they have some little things. But honestly, I think DS is the car brand that probably has one of the most beautiful window opening buttons. Here, the wood, the locking, child lock at the back, the block part, air conditioning, always the pearl accents. Here it's so beautiful, that little stitching detail. Same with this leather, these carpets inside, we have plastic at the bottom. But well, why not? It's not worth 200,000 euros either. The seats, I'll show you at the front, really tightly put together, and always with this woven design, shows off the little DS more. There. What do you think about it? It's beautiful. I even like the headrest. Everything is quite nice, actually. I closed it so, oh yeah, it's weird. To grab the door, actually, you have to take it. We're not used to it, and actually, it's soft, and you end up touching it. The leather isn't bad. That's actually pretty nice, though. Here, and here's the cabin. I'll move back as far as I can. So this is what it looks like inside. What do you think of this big dashboard, huh? And then this new screen with the design that appeared on later models, new gauge cluster, the new backgrounds for the gauges in a new style, and this much bigger screen. Compared to the thing that used to be surrounded by a little plastic frame before, this is definitely much more stylish, isn't it? So we find this screen that we know from most of the group, but it's the same. Look at the design, it's beautiful, it's smooth, there's animation, something happens, you see, when you touch something, it's honestly really nice. The menus, air conditioning, here you find this whether it's a Peugeot, etc. Even though I don't know if the video about the Citroën is out yet, a new Citroën that's doing new things. It's pretty crazy, honestly, at times. The DS steering wheel, as usual, the assists on this side with the limiter, adaptive cruise control, lane centering, etc. Faster, slower, read the signs, and on this side, always the voice command, the phone, the radio volume control. You can see that we have paddles behind the steering wheel. Then, as usual, a windshield wiper, and on the other side, the lights with, of course, an automatic mode and the full auto mode for the matrix headlights. I love this environment. Look at how it comes back here, everywhere. It's honestly very, very stylish. Even this part here, how beautiful it is. Anyway, a little change here, that's it. Before, you know, there was a small screen actually that allowed you to interact with it, the touch screen. They removed it and said, well, it's true that it wasn't really useful. In the end, you have these little holders, or unfortunately, the phone doesn't fit, but it kind of works like a small card holder, which is common. If you're a salesperson or something similar, if you have a job where people still give you cards, you can put them in here like this. Here you go, Jean, Michel, Pierre-Paul, why not? It gives you a little reminder. Or toll cards, or for gas, anything really anyway. The steering wheel always like this, like that. I showed you the screen, I showed you here. We always have shortcuts here with buttons. So for example here, the climate control menu, I can activate or deactivate it from here, the defoggers, etc. Turn on the air conditioning, turn it off, set it to off, 1, 2. With my temperature, I adjust here and then I have my air vents. I can adjust with my temperature, I adjust here and then I have my air vents. I can adjust here. The airflow, the air vents. Oh no, it's not the airflow. Yes, it is the airflow like this. And then I direct it towards myself and then I adjust this for the height. So it's in 2 parts, why not? And here, I like how this blinks like that. The start engine button right there. Wake me up, wake me up. The shortcut for the driving aids, and that's actually pretty good, the functions, etc. What are we going to have? Others, the adjustment of the mirrors, the opening of the fuel cap. Here, the pedals, we know them from most of the brand's vehicles, but mainly this screen that changes right here, with menus that can be different. But it's really the new design that I like a lot. And this slightly black and gold look, I have to admit, it looks really, really classy. At the top, we find the sun visors here, up, and white LED lighting, very classy. On the other side, do we have the same thing? Yes, we have exactly the same thing. Frameless mirror, seatbelt indicators to check if everyone is buckled up, and full lighting here, or individual LED touch-sensitive lights on each side with the emergency call button and the Save Our Souls button. Maybe it's because it's a concept and it's a pre-production model. But maybe there will be the Save Our Souls button probably around here. And for this screen I didn't show you, but there's the home button here and the hazard lights are over there. Glove box. Let's see what's going on in there. Oh, a very deep glove box. Spacious, top-notch, the best kind of glove box. You can put big bottles like 1.5 liters in there. That's great. Here you push this and it opens. You can close it again and it's the same leather on top. The way it opens like this is pretty nice. I'm not going to show what was inside there. The USB port, it's a small storage space. You can have a wireless charger, double cup holder, and the 12-volt socket. Let's say that now the 12-volt socket is rarely used. USB ports have become pretty standard. The volume button is the same with this texture like you find on the sides. It's very pleasant to the touch. You know you're on the volume button. You know what's happening that way. And produce your own renewable and local energy. To learn more, visit the website. Which one is not the mute button and which one really acts as the mute button? Will it be the same for everything? Got the gearbox here, reverse like this, drive like this, the B mode because it lights up, rechargeable for the brake mode and the drive modes. If I can select either electric or hybrid, will that change things a little for me? The displays, not really, and the sport mode, does anything happen, shall we? Not much exciting when it comes to drive modes, which always changes this part to rest. The palm of my hand is actually what allows me to do this. And actually it used to be only for playing with this screen, but they kept it, why not? When I'm driving, I always keep my left hand on the steering wheel and my other hand here just resting. Honestly, it's pretty comfortable. Here we have some storage space. You can put a phone here, for example. And still this big compartment here, always very deep with a USB port. It's so nice, so pleasant. And normally, if I'm not mistaken, there's even a cable that can go through the top. So let's see if I can put my finger in there. There we go, just like that. Actually, we have this part that lifts up, as you can see here, and that allows me to do this just like that. And there we go, for the interior of this new DS number 4, or number 4. What do we think about it? What clearly changes compared to DS4, the name here? Sometimes a little bit at the back, but the front, on the other hand, which was completely styled, and this screen that makes the car look much more modern, because it's true that it's really simple, but just changing that makes a difference, and it gives it a bit of a fresh look. It hasn't changed much otherwise, but actually everything was already pretty good. It's still a car, especially one that you buy, in my opinion, for its looks and quality, a bit for the finish, the seats, and the comfort. Because DS cars are still quite comfortable, but they combine both comfort and dynamism. Well, feel free to tell me what you think about this new number 4 in the comments. I'll be waiting for you. Don't hesitate to subscribe and give a thumbs up like this. That always makes me happy. It's for me, it's for Nico, and I'll see you soon for another video. Thank you, see you soon, bye.